good day, good day. Yes, it's another Wednesday. It is Startup and Innovators on Atlanta Discuss channel. Yes, another innovator in the house. Well, is he a startup? Well, maybe he's been there for a while. It's not particularly a startup, but he's starting up too. But it's clearly an innovator, and a special one like that. So today we have David Ogunbanjo with us. David Ogunbanjo, welcome to Atlanta Discuss.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, I like your smile. So, David, this Startup and Innovators on Atlanta Discuss. We bring vibrant young Africans that have done extraordinary things in different areas, in different fields. You have carved a niche in IT, digital, AI, and so on and so forth. So let me introduce you to our people. But the way I always like people that tell their story. I would love you to tell your story. Only you can tell it yourself. David is a transformative leader from all indication in Africa's dynamic digital sector. He's a highly innovative entrepreneur, strategic technologist. He's a serial entrepreneur, endeavors consistently to leverage on the extensive technical expertise that he has. And David's leadership in artificial intelligence and software development extend beyond the conventional tech entrepreneurship. So there's a lot more there. I'm going to allow him to do it. He's the CEO of OMobile. Did I pronounce that? Was it OMobile or O0Mobile? How do you call that? OMobile. Okay.
OMobile.
He has overseen the development of scalable platform, integrating AI with intuitive user experience. So David Ogunbanjo, welcome to Startup and Innovators on the Atlanta Discuss channel. How are you doing today, David?
Very well, thank you. Very well.
All right. So tell us, what's your story? How did you come about OMobile? What did you study in school? Was this all what you always wanted to do, or did you just stumble on it? Tell us, what's your story?
All right. My story is very interesting because I initially wanted to do agric extension and rural development. That has always been on my mind.
Wow.
Even though I already had a lot of background in tech. At the time I was supposed to start my tertiary education, I already, in fact, my father got me my first laptop when I was 13, so I had been doing a lot of things by myself, learning a lot of things myself. And when it was time to go for my tertiary education, it made no sense to go study computer science again. So the very jump I wrote my first choice course was agric extension and rural development. And then the second choice was computer science. Now, I gained admission for agric extension and rural development. So I gained admission for agric extension and rural development, but the problem was that I couldn't cope. I had been in private schools all my life, so there was absolutely no way I was going to go to a government university, and I didn't understand that one person could buy a plate of food and 5 people would have to eat it. That was a foreign concept to me at the time. So I ran back home. I told my dad I wasn't going to go any longer, and there's a reason why I'm telling this story. I will get to it later.
That's all I get.
Yeah, we'll get to it later. So when I got back home, my dad was like, okay, he didn't flog it. He didn't make an issue out of it. He said, fine and good. You had a second choice. And that's how I ended up doing computer science. I never really wanted to do computer science. I honestly didn't. But that's how I ended up doing computer science anyways. And if you look at what I do now, there's still the love of agriculture in it, okay? Because at OMobile, where I operate currently, we are currently providing technologies to over 2.3 million farmers in Nigeria currently.
Oh, wow.
So I still am following the agricultural line. Personally, I also have my own farm. I have Black Hole Farms, a registered company in Nigeria. I have a farm. I have hectares of plantain plantation in Lagos and a fish farm in Lagos. So, that's entrepreneurship. I started my first startup a long while back, actually, but it crashed. It didn't work out in 2022. So that was a huge failure. And then I took a year to rest. I needed to re-strategize and all of that. And in 2023, I started again. This time, I started up a conglomerate, black hole group of companies. There's Black Hole Sports, there's Black Hole Innovations, there's Black Hole Technologies, there's Black Hole Investments, there's we have the foundation, Black Hole Foundation, and obviously Black Hole Farms. Did I mention Black Hole Sports? We have currently just okay, Black Hole Sports is there too. We are trying to set up a football club in Abuja currently. So that's what that conglomerate does. Black Hole group of companies. That's what it does. I didn't set up OMobile myself. OMobile was set up by someone else, but he needed someone who would lead it as the CEO, someone who had more experience in technology, because the whole vision behind OMobile was and still is to provide technology to farmers. Now, I have taken that vision and expanded it way beyond farmers. So anyone who knows me knows that I love to produce my technologies for a particular niched group. I don't provide public technologies to be used by everybody. It's not my thing. I prefer to work with a niched group, gain control over that market, sort of a monopoly, if possible, over that market. And that's how I've been working. So I was happy to come on board OMobile, and I was appointed as the CEO at OMobile. OMobile is a UK-based company, by the way. We just extended operations to Africa. We're present in the UK, which is our headquarters and the home of our R&D department. We're also present in Singapore, which is the home of our funding department. We're present in China, which is the home of our manufacturing department. We're present in Nigeria, which is the home of our adoption departments. We are currently trying to get into South Africa so that we can partner with an MVNO and launch eSIMs in Nigeria too. So we should be present in 5 countries by the end of next month. Should be present in 5 countries. So what we do at OMobile, initially, like I mentioned earlier, it was supposed to be a technology company that provides technologies, both software and hardware, for farmers in Nigeria. Now, I took that and I looked at it. I was like, okay, I mean, farmers, yes, that's a good market. I mean, we have about 30 million farmers in Nigeria. So yeah, that's a really pretty huge market, But how can we take it a step further? It can't just be farmers. So we are currently developing something for students, actually. Right now, we have 10 million students on our wait lists for what we are developing right now. 10 million students in Nigeria, out of the 35 million documented private school students in Nigeria. We have 10 million on our wait list for the app that we are developing, and we are to launch on June 30th here in Abuja. So that is my story, and that is my story from way back to where I am right now. I hope that's satisfied.
I like the way you summarized it. Please, when you buy the soccer club, let me know. I'm interested. Yeah. I like sports a lot. Yeah, especially soccer. Yeah, but I'm a Man U fan. Now, what club do you support in the Premiership?
Nottingham Forest.
Oh, wow. You're a real British guy then. All right. So now, what exactly do you do for farmers in Nigeria? What niche do you provide for them?
All right. So we have a major partner that drives adoption among farmers in Nigeria. We are partnered with an organization that has close to 3 million farmers on their network. It's a cooperative society called Maize Trade Cooperative. And Maize Trade Cooperative has a suite of solutions that needed technology, and we provided all of those technologies. I'll give you an instance. Right now, we have just worked on the Maize Trade KYC/KYM platform. It is Nigeria's largest aggregator for farmers. KYC and KYM platform. Basically, what that platform does is the KYC aspect of it is, the farmers put in their NIN, BVN, and a couple of other information to verify who they are. But the KYM system involves a coordinator of maize trade actually going to verify this information in person. That's what makes it one of the most secure verification systems in Nigeria to date, if not the most secure verification system in Nigeria to date. So we built that technology for Main Street. Besides that, we are also providing. I mentioned that OMobile is a hardware and software company. So we have developed our own mobile tablets and mobile phones specifically built for farmers and students. So we are providing these devices to farmers in the maize trade network in Nigeria. So that's how we work with farmers in Nigeria currently.
Wow, that's highly impressive. So, how many farmers do you say you have under your network now?
The organization we partnered with has close to 3 million farmers on the network.
Wow.
Right now, we at OMobile have onboarded about 2.3 million of them. These are people who have emails ending in @omobile.world.
Oh, wow. Only Nigeria or maybe other African countries?
Only Nigeria for now.
Only Nigeria. Wow. So the one you're going to launch soon for the student, how is that going to impact on students in Nigeria? What's the purpose of that innovation? Oh, you don't want to talk about it yet?
All right, I can give you some preliminary information, but I can't go too much into details. Yeah, so the platform is supposed to be an education consolidation platform. I mentioned that there's a reason why I was telling the story about why I pivoted from agric extension back to computer science. I remember when I wanted to transfer my admission, it wasn't available. I couldn't transfer my admission to a private school in Nigeria from the government school. And that pissed me off because it meant that I had to go study computer science unless I would wait for a year to write JAMB again, which I didn't want to. So I was unable to pivot and it was very annoying. And then I visited the UK and then I came to see how easy it is to transfer from one school to the other. And I said, why can't we do this in Nigeria? So right now, what we are building, that is one of the things that it powers. Although we have not moved to the universities yet, we are starting with nursery, primary, and secondary schools, where students are going to create what in tech we call a user persona. It's kind of like the details that Google has about you. Google knows more about you than you know about yourself. So each student, so each student will be able to create a user persona, and this user persona is easily transferred from school to school. And we have, as of today, we got some really good news. We have the full backing of all F4 schools in Nigeria. We have 100,000 schools coming onto our network from National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools in Nigeria. We are starting with the private sector, and the discussion on June 30th is going to see a way that the public sector can key into this too. So that's what we're launching on June 30th.
Wow. Do you know a gentleman called Obafela Killer?
Of course I do. Obafela Killer. I was at his event at Ibadan last.
Oh, okay. We're one of the sponsors. I couldn't make it. I was hoping I will. But now, why I refer to Obafela is that he's trying to do something like what you're trying to do for schools. He's trying to do something like that in the health sector. He says that hospitals don't have medical histories. There's no database of everybody's medical history that he's trying to, that kind of thing. It's a good thing you know him. I mean, that means that for whatever it is, what you guys can collaborate in future
then. Yeah, we can. I am a part of that organization he's building, actually.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Small world.
Yeah. I am.
Fantastic. Because I got when you analyzed what you wanted to do for schools, I've spoken to Obafela twice. He's been my guest twice, and he's similar. I like him a lot. It's somebody I'm very fond of. So I like if you're trying to do this in education, he's trying to do that in health. I mean, if you merge it together, the more money, more it's going to be, So tell me, let's talk about AI now, because I did mention it when I was reading your resume, and I noticed that you're very big on AI. And how do you think AI can be used to promote financial inclusion in Africa, and what potential benefits or challenges do you foresee?
Okay. So I'm going to talk about one way that we are using AI for the platform that we want to launch in for the platform we want to launch on June 30th. One way that we are using AI is there's room for content creators on that platform. Okay. One of the reasons why our mentality in Nigeria, especially among my generation, the Gen Zs, has gone this bad is actually poor content on social media. So we figured that the way to actually reverse that is to use the exact same method that got it bad in the first place, which is also content. So we are creating content on education, educational content on morals, values, history. Sad to say, history has been scrapped up to our educational curriculum in Nigeria. That's terrible. So we're bringing it back. So AI is really, really, really important in this regard. We are into discussions with some guys. You might have heard of them. They were Africa's first completely AI-powered radio station. Tingle Media. They have created what is called very great. It's owned by Dozie Mobosi. He's the owner of that company. I had a meeting with him.
I'd love to talk to them in future. Maybe you link me up with them.
Oh, great. Sure, I can link you up. In fact, I have a call with the CEO of Tingle AI later today. So fantastic. I will definitely mention you. I will mention you. So we're in partnership. We're in talks on a partnership with them so that we can bring in what they have developed, and it's called Tingle GPT. It is Africa's own native AI that can speak over 250 Nigerian languages.
Oh, wow.
So we are inputting that into the platform.
You guys are not kidding at all.
No, we are not actually. We want to bring a complete solution.
I'm so excited. This is the whole idea,
Yeah, we want to bring a complete suite of solutions. So they have also gone ahead to create, no doubt you would agree with me that conventional AI might be a bit bad for young people because it can give them a lot of information that should be censored for minors. So they went ahead and they are working on something called Teen GPT. Teen as in teenagers. Teen GPT. This is a censored version of their Tingle GPT, which is for minors. So we are inputting that into our platform, and that is going to power education. You can imagine reducing the need for private tutors, reducing the need for extensive research material for homeworks and classworks and things like that. So circling back to your question on how it can encourage financial inclusivity, I believe it just opens a whole new world of opportunities for people. Jobs you never knew existed before. Yeah, everyone is always talking about how AI is going to take people's jobs, but I feel it's taking jobs from people who refuse to innovate in their jobs.
Absolutely.
The truth is, right. The truth is, if you are we don't have a corporate secretary at OMobile because all of us know how to use AI tools to come up with letters and all of this, So it should help. It should actually help to boost your own skills. And when your skills are boosted, you appeal to a larger market, a more expensive market, a higher class of market. You can charge more. In fact, the possibilities are endless. You can exponentially increase what you're supposed to be earning, your income. So I keep telling people to embrace AI, but I guess that's another discussion for another day.
Just to add to what you say, AI is not taking people's job. It's actually a job creator in its way, in a lot of ways.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, if you know how to apply. I'll tell you a short story. When I was young, I'm in my 50s now, so I mean not 50, I just clocked 50, so last year. So when I was age 10, I used to. At age 10, I knew the capital of all the countries in the world. All the countries in the world. And this was just barely looking at the map. Do you understand? Training myself, looking at the map, studying it, all that kind of. So I knew physical geography, So by the time I even got to secondary school, the first geography class I had was a walk in the park. Now, why am I saying this? By the time my kids were showing interest, I have one now that the things it talks about, he's never even looked at a book, but he knows the geography, because of technology, and he grabs it faster. So I'm telling you, look, with AI, this thing is going to be easier. It makes learning faster, and that means you can cover more in a shorter period of time, and you can apply it in almost every strata of the society. At the end of the day, the way I see it is that the mode of study will be different. Like all these kids are making the new app for now, well, some teachers might not have to be needed, but it doesn't mean that you still don't need teachers. That teachers just have to up their skill. Yeah. That's just, you have to scale up your skill. And that's the thing. If you don't have a particular level of intellect or knowledge in AI, you might not be able to have the job. I think that's just the application there, which is more or less what I'm trying to say. So people should not be scared, I mean, it doesn't mean there won't be nurses again or doctors. We've had robots for some time, and there's still a lot robots cannot do. You understand?
Right.
In a plane, for example, there are a lot of modern planes and ships that do autopilot takeoff and landing, but you still need human beings. Mm-hmm. But it just shows that the more advanced the technology, the more upbeat and more highly skilled manpower, should be, so.
Needed. Right.
Fantastic. I'm excited about what you're doing. Let me tell you, is there anything you're doing with government in all this? Do you have any government collaboration, or you guys are just private sector driven and all that? And also, let me add this so that you don't stress. How do you get funding? Where's all the funding coming from?
Okay. For the government aspect, we have open discussions with them. The event on June 30th, the the Honorable Minister of Education will be featuring heavily at that event. We'll have about 3 sitting senators coming to that event to talk on a panelist session. And the proposed chairman of that event is an outgoing senator and a high-ranking official of this current government of Nigeria. Same with the chair lady for the event. So the people in the private sector have basically bought this already. This discussion is to show the guys in the government how exactly this can come to work for the government schools too, and why it should work for the government schools too. We just closed a landmark deal with the Air Force. So all 33,000 students. Yes, all 33,000 students in the Nigerian Air Force schools across the nation are going to be using our platform. So it's a landmark. In fact, that's why I'm so bubbly today. It's a very landmark deal that we just closed. Yeah. Thank you very much. So these are ways that the government can come in, and we've opened these talks, and that's why we will have the Minister of Education featuring heavily, so that he can see the reason why they should bring government schools in on this.
Wow. So funding, what are you getting?
So funding, yes, for funding, we weren't planning to announce this till Friday, but we are currently in the fundraising phase right now.
For me, it's just breaking news today, right? I'm getting all the breaking news.
Right. So we are actually in a fundraising. We're in a fundraising round as we speak. We're in a fundraising round where we are giving up about 5% of equity, for some particularly significant amounts of money. Besides that, we had a lot of startup fund from the former CEO of OMobile world. He happens to be an angel investor on his own. So he was able to leave with us a lot of funding that we have used to develop to the point we are. And at this point, we feel we need to set a valuation on what is coming. And that's why we actually opened up 5% of the SPV. That is this new product, and we are looking to get investors in. We have already raised about 60% of what we put out for sale. We've already sold about 60% of it. So I think we are doing well in that regards.
Is it a public thing or just for some niche investors? How are you?
It's for some niche investors, actually.
So someone like me can come and
I think we can have an off-the-camera discussion about
that. Okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, I like that. So, I mean, in all this, what are the major difficulties you have encountered? I mean, I know you are about to launch for students. You are doing a lot with farmers. I mean, I know it's not a bed of roses, Business is hard. Nothing comes easy. Intellectually, I know it's a lot of rigor, but what are the major obstacles you've encountered and how did you surmount them?
All right. I think the biggest of the problems has been adoption. So anyone who is building something technological for farmers can just know how difficult it is to get a farmer to just register a new email. We've made it very, very simple. The UI is so easy, yet it's so difficult for some people. My friend who works at MyStrade, who is the CTO of MyStrade, we were discussing earlier today. He was here at the office. He mentioned to me somebody who has been having an issue trying to sign into the hub, the portal that they use for their banking, all cooperative members use for their banking. And she's been having this issue for weeks, only for us to find out that she already created the account. She just forgot that she created the account, and she has been busy trying to create an account again. Wow. For weeks now. So these are the kind of things that we are dealing with. Adoption is a huge problem. And we were able to surmount this, particularly for the farmers, by appointing a new director of adoption. Our director of adoption is 75 years old. So basically, he gives belief to the farmers that they can actually do it if he can do it. So that was something we were able to do. He features in all of our publicity campaigns and everything. So yeah, he's doing a great job at getting these farmers to believe in themselves and the fact that they can actually use these technologies. They can make use of these technologies that we're providing for them.
Does it have to be a smartphone?
Okay, so the way we are solving that problem is, yes, to give a very straight answer.
Yeah.
All right, to give a very straight answer, yes, it has to be a smartphone. The way we are solving that problem right now is MyStrade, whom I mentioned, we are partnering with them to provide OMobile devices for these farmers across Nigeria. That is what we are doing. So MyStrade is paying us to manufacture these devices in China, ship down to Nigeria, and MyStrade is handing it to these farmers at a next to nothing price of just 30,000 naira.
Wow, that's ridiculously cheap. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it is for a device that is worth. Wow. Yeah, for a device that is worth about 600,000 naira on the market, they are doing really well in that regard.
So you're in UK, you're in Nigeria, you're in Singapore, you're in China, and so China is China is your technological hub. Singapore is your financial hub. UK is head office. Nigeria is the market. I think there's a fifth country, right?
South Africa coming up next month.
South Africa, okay. So, yeah. Right. So what's the plan for the future? Are you going into other areas, Kenya, Ghana?
Yes, actually, when we were developing this platform for students, we just decided that Nigeria was going to be a pilot phase kind of thing. Okay. Our real markets are Africans in diaspora. That's the real market. Because through our platform, you will be able, through the platform and the AI that we have there, you'll be able to learn African languages in a way that you've never learned before. This is something I have experienced firsthand. It's a problem with Nigerians and other African children in diaspora. They have forgotten how to speak. They've forgotten their history. They've forgotten values. They've forgotten almost everything there is that should link them to their home. You just see them bearing African names. Many of them don't even pronounce the names correctly. So that is actually the real market for this platform that we've just launched. We're just using Nigeria for a kind of test phase, trying to see how it settles in Nigeria, and then we can then scale.
One funny thing? Yeah, one of the reasons why I do this program is that I want to showcase people like you, especially of Nigerian and African origin, that are doing extraordinary things. What you just said just took my mind to a guest of mine. His name is Amos Taffa. They call him Amos the maths guy. It's just mathematics. I'm going to introduce him to you. Because of what you're doing for education, I'm sure he's tech savvy. He lives in America, but he's coming to Nigeria now. He's a professor of maths. He's written about 20-something books on mathematics alone. Yeah,
Wow.
I will send you my last interview with him. Then he just collaborated with a guy in Nigeria, Olayinka Tedimola. He has leadlearning.com. So it just provides virtual classes or learning services virtually for students in Mandarin, in English. He just partnered with Mustafa now. So they just started the Nigerian Mathematics Academy or something within that. I can't remember the name. I think you should meet them. I'll arrange that. Because the future of Africa is really bright, which is the whole idea behind
Right.
this. Yeah, because
Right, it
when
is.
you come to the United States now, you go to Harvard, Cambridge, all these schools, top 10, they're usually Nigerians. I don't know if you know, but population-wise,
I
we're the
do.
largest concentration of Black people on the planet. One out
Right.
of every four sub-Saharan African is a Nigerian. One out of every six Black person in the whole world is a Nigerian. In North America,
Right.
I think we are the most educated migrating bloc, actually. You understand? So it's actually unfair on the country, Nigeria, lacking behind technologically, politically, leadership wise and all that. We actually have the manpower. How was the case of failure of leadership? We've discussed that in the past, but this is not for politics. I discussed politics on my Friday program. This is just technologically innovation. And let me ask you this,
Right.
right? What
Okay.
advice do you have for the young? You're young, but what you're doing is not. It's big. I respect it enough my heart. But what advice do you have for younger people coming up, younger startup, people that want to slay stereotype, overcome hurdles in life? Because you said to me today, and I really love that you started, it crashed. That was a business you started that it crashed. But I like the fact that you didn't give up and now you have fantastic momentum. So what advice do you have for others trying to toe this line?
Okay. One important thing is collaboration. And it's going to lead to the second thing that I'm going to talk about. The first thing is collaboration. You can't do it alone. There's a Yoruba adage my dad always tells to me. He says, Igi kon dagboshi. It means
A tree
one
cannot make a forest.
tree cannot make a forest. Exactly. So I've always taken that. My very first startup, I had partners. My second, I had partners, and this one I'm doing my own. The one I founded myself, Black Hole Group of Companies. I have partners too who are helping me to drive what we're doing here at OMobile. I have the most amazing team I'm working with. I have James in the UK. He's the deputy CEO. He's doing an amazing job leading the R&D department there. So I have guys I work with. I always work with people. I am also chair of the trustees of a founder forum network in Nigeria. We have over 50 founders on that forum. We're quite small compared to other founder forums, but we're doing big things. So collaboration. In
I
fact,
am
I
majorly
have.
young people.
Yeah, I don't think there's any of us that's up to that is up to his mid 40s there.
Oh,
Everyone
wow.
is either in 20s or 30s. I think we have just one person in the 40s on that group. So I love to, in fact, my whole life is dedicated to getting people to collaborate. And that's what drove me to technology. Technology bridges the gap, the divide that there is in collaboration. I'm invited to speak at the boss event at University of Abuja on the 30th of this month. And when they were asking me what topic I want to talk about and how it relates to people breaking into technology, I had no two thoughts about it. It's collaboration. How collaboration can help people to break into technology easier. So I've always been very big on collaboration. Now, I mentioned I was at Obafela's event a couple of days back in Ibadan. I spoke about communication there. Collaborative communication is what I called it. Collaborative communication is how you talk to multiple groups of people at a time or a group of people at a time. So the second thing besides collaboration is communication. You would agree with me that Nigerian youth don't know how to speak. They don't know how to present themselves. And yet you hear them talk about the fact that there are no jobs, there are no investment opportunities. I always tell them, guy, just please don't say that. There are opportunities. You just don't know how to present yourself. That's just it. You don't know how to present yourself. So don't say that. People need to know that they need to collaborate. They need to communicate properly. Communicate yourself, communicate your ideas, communicate your brand properly, and you will get the
requisite
accolades you
attention.
deserve. Yeah, that's the word. Right. You get the attention, you get the accolades, you get the money. Just communicate properly. Communicate properly. So yeah, those two things. And in communication, I have come to learn that you should always be straightforward in your communication. That is very, very important. I spoke about the fact that the first startup I started crashed. It is largely my fault, and it's because I wasn't completely open about some things with my partners, and that was why it actually crashed. We had something really good going on, and that taught me a lot. Last year I was reminded of this lesson yet again, so I am really big on being truthful with your partners, communicate properly, and you'd have it well. So yeah, truthful communication, collaborative communication, and joining groups. Be a part of a group, be a part of a forum. Just talk, communicate, contribute to other people's ideas. You'd have it well.
Let me ask you something else. I mean, this question is coming from what I've heard you say and what I've experienced generally amongst the African. The poor communication. I can use another word for it. Maybe we're being secretive, We're trying to hide something. Do you think it's a cultural problem?
Wow. I don't think it's a cultural problem, or perhaps it has grown into our culture. I think it is an experience problem. And let me give you a short story I told some people on the Founders Forum. I'm a chair of the trustees.
Okay.
I told them that the rich people in Nigeria, or the people in the upper class in Nigeria, do not like to mingle with the people in the lower class. Not necessarily because they have experienced some bad things happen between collaborations, with collaborations between both classes, but they must have watched either their parents or their grandparents have terrible experiences mingling with people of the lower class. So I think it's an experience problem. Exactly. I think it's an experience problem. We have lots of experiences, might not even be someone from your family. It could be a story you heard about how a couple of people betrayed someone's dad, maybe your friend's dad, a couple of people betrayed him. And because of that, you're like, oh, okay, I'm not going to be talking about myself to other people any longer. I'm not going to be telling people everything there is to know about myself, everything there is to know about my product. And for me, it spilled into the products that I was building at the time, the company I was running.
That's culture.
Into that. So I think it has grown into our culture.
Yeah, it's a culture.
Right. It has grown into our culture. You're right. But it stemmed from bad experiences. It stemmed from that.
Because, I mean, in America, you see that even Nigerians hide things from themselves. Then hardly, because one of the problems you see Nigerians in diaspora have is that there's no teamwork. I'm intentional about, meeting people from other African countries, Botswana, Burkina. I have friends across almost any, maybe not all, Kenya, Ugandans. And I see they have a lot of, synergy, Ghanaians, a lot of synergy. We do not have it. Yes, we have all these associations here and there, but they're all acting below par. If there's no tribal issue, there's religious issue, you understand? And I'll give you a quick example, might be a little bit of digression, but 3 friends, wonderful guys, started a business. One financial guy, a tech guy, one a logistic guy, started a company and they were doing everything together. And guess what? One of them, the wife had a dream that the guy is older and he should be the one that is the MD, not the director. I mean, if your wife start telling you that kind of thing, and I mean, she has been a good wife, you understand, you think about it, Now, in the Yoruba context, it's difficult for three friends to cohabit, because at any point in time, there's always these two that are closer, They might go in a circle, but, and that's how the distrust started, and they actually bungled something very, 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 very good. I was involved in mediating, and you'll be shocked at how extremely educated people can bungle very, very, you understand. These are good friends. Now they don't talk to themselves. The guys don't talk, the wives don't talk, and that idea just died like that. So, I mean, I'm talking educated people in developed world. So when I see younger people do it and the way you're doing it, I love the fact that you said it was a mistake ab initio when you were not honest about it. Now you have realized it. And I love that example too. A tree does not make a forest. Because we all have our specialty. It's like a chain. There's no weak link. If you remove one part, there's the problem. Yeah. Interesting. So I have two more questions for you before you go. And yeah, so this one, maybe I know the answer already, but let me ask you. Has it been financially rewarding, OM and everything you're doing?
Right now, it is, but we are still in the process of reinvesting everything we make. We are still reinvesting virtually everything we make. We are not yet declaring profits. We are making a lot of money, but at the same time, we are putting it back into what we are doing. That's how we are able to expand what the next batch of tablets coming out is and all of that. We are just putting it back into the system. There's something I learned from one of my dad's friends. He says, when you invest money into something, the first one that comes out, you don't spend, you reinvest it again. When you get a return again, you still do not spend, you reinvest it again. And then you keep turning that investment over. So from the fourth cycle, you can then pick the profit of that and start spending. You keep reinvesting the capital over and over and over again. So that's the principle we're following here.
Oh, wow. So who's your mentor?
Okay. I have my godmother, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. I have...
yeah, in good hands.
Right. I have Professor George Nwagu. He's a fellow of, I've forgotten the society now, but he's the director of the Global Center for Law, Business and Economy. He's a Harvard professor. He's based in Nigeria though, so there's him. And who else do I have on my mentorship list? I think those are the two that come to my head for now, but I do have quite a number of mentors.
But your university was in the UK, correct?
No, that was my master's.
Your master's, okay. What university did you attend in Nigeria?
Pan-Atlantic University.
Pan-Atlantic University, interesting. So where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
Retired.
Retired.
To be very straightforward. Retired, to be very straightforward.
I love that. Retired. Oh, yeah, okay, how much do you think you'll be worth in 10 years' time? Let me look for your trouble.
Okay, in 10 years' time.
You've been punching some figures.
No, you're right. You're right. There's no reason why I should be worth less than $10 billion in 10 years' time. Absolutely no reason.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah.
You know what? I've always been pessimistic about the future of Nigeria until when I started this program. I think you are the 16, 15 or 17 person I'm talking to. You guys have given me a hope. I'm telling you, the future of Nigeria is so bright. Private sector driven, extraordinary, young stars, innovative, startup. They fail, they get up, they keep grinding, and I love that, man. David, you're a wonderful guy. We've been talking to David Ogunbanjo. You heard from him. He's slaying stereotype, big time. He's doing what Bill Gates and the likes did back then at that garage, when they got annoyed and left Harvard. David, thank you for all you do. I mean, I'm going to link you up with Mustafa. I think I have to do that. You guys will really kick it off very, very well, and he's based in Dallas, but he's coming to Nigeria very soon. I'm going to send him a message and I'll tell him to give you a call or something. But, you know, we have a chat group for all our guests, our past guests. So I'll add you to that group. So I will do an introduction to Amos through that. You understand? And the good thing is Amos met his first collaborator through that means, through the group. I don't know if you know, there's a guy that does Oga Ticket in Atlanta.
Justice.
I know him. So there's this other girl, guest and something that does something like that too. So I just told them that if Amos and Teddy Mola can come together, why are you two doing the same kind of business in two different companies? You have to do it together. That's it. It's better to own 1% of a conglomerate, you understand, than to own 100% of, you know, of something of a $50,000 business, you know. And you've said it all. Let's collaborate. All right, David Ogunbanjo, thank you so much. We are proud of you. You're a true star. You know, I'm overwhelmed. You know, I was joking to myself yesterday when after we were chatting, I said your PA will get in touch with me. I'm like, what does this guy do to PA for? Now I know. You know. Then she rang me up around 5 this morning. You know, I always calling me this early. Yeah, and fantastic. So send me well to her. I'm sure we're going to invite you again. Thank you for all to do. So to all our viewers, you've heard from the horse's mouth. The future of Nigeria is bright. The future of Africa is bright. David Ogunbanjo in the house. Thank you all. See you next Wednesday. Bye, David. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.